Hey guys, what's up? Today we will going to discuss about the break keyword, which is very important and is used to jump a block of code. Suppose take an example. You have used an infinite loop and you want to find any number, and after getting that number, you have to jump out from that infinite loop to run the rest of the code. Otherwise, your code will not run. So in that case, you have to use the break statements, and break statements are used to jump a block of statements. You have to use many times for getting your required results. So you have to use break statement to jump a block of code. Okay, so I have written a program which is very simple to make you understand the use of break statements. So let's begin. At the top I have written the package name as end, and after that break keyword is the class name, and after that public static environment that you all know. So here there are two variables which is of integer data type, I and j. I is used for the outer loop and j is used for the inner loop. So I is equals to 1, I less than 10 and I plus plus, and in the inner side j is equals to 1, j less than 10 and j plus plus. The inner one is the j loop and outer one is the I loop. What is happening over here is that for I value of 1, when the value of I is 1, it will run 9 times, and when 2, when 3, like that, up till the i's value is 9, this code will run for 9 times. Okay, so but here is a thing that I've written to break this code. If I want to break this code, then I have to use break statement, as I have told you before. So if j's value is 2, then this statement will break out. Until the j's value is 2, this statement will be print. But if the value of j is 2, this whole for loop is breaked out. Breaked out means skipped out, jump. The control jump out from this code to this bracket, this block of code to the I block of code. The control will jump out from the j block of code to I block of code. Okay, so let's check out what is the example. Let me explain you first that when the j value is 2, it will break, and the remaining portion of the remaining iteration of the inner loop will not work. It will jump out from there and the answer will be like that only. Okay, let's check it out. So here the answer is I is equals to 2, j is equals to 1, I is equals to first of all, I is equals to 1, j is equals to 1, I is equals to 2, j is equal. Why it is happening? After getting the j is equals to 2, this whole statement break out, but the outer loop is over here. So after breaking out from the j's loop, the control given to the I for loop, and after getting that, again the i's value increased, and again the inner loop start running. After getting j is equals to 2 again, and again it's breakout. That's why i's value is increasing and j's value is not increasing, because after getting 2, it will jump out from the inner j loop. If you want to jump out from this whole block of code, and if you want to print only j is equals to 1 and I is equals to 1, then you have to use label, or you have to name the block of code which you have to jump out or you want to jump out. So let's give this block of code. If you want to label any block of code, then you have to write like this. You have to give any name, and after that you have to use a colon sign. Colon sign will used to give this block of code a name, which is 1. And if after getting j is equals to 2, you want to break from this whole loop, that means from the outer loop also, then you have to write the name of that block you want to jump out. So I have written that name over here, and let's see the answer. So here the value is I is equals to 1, j is equals to 1. Why it is happening? After getting j is equals to 2 for the first time, it jumps out from this whole block of code, from the outer loop, the control given to the next statement of this code. If there here it is nothing for the control, that's why it's nothing over here. If I write any statement over, then it will be executed. Let me write that. Let me write that over here. Then you will see that the control will given to the end of this block. The whole, as you have seen that after I is equals to 0 and I is equals to 1, j is equals to 1, the a is printed. Why? Because after writing break is equals to 1, then the whole outer loop and the inner loop is skipped out, as you have understood. And there is one difference over here, is that if you name the block over here, then what will happen? Let me show you. Then the previous example, the first one, when we have used only the break statement, then we have got this answer only. Why it is happening? After giving the name to the bracket, before the bracket, it is happening that after break 1, the control gets to its outer one. The control gets over here, the control goes to the outer loop. After giving name before this bracket curly braces, the control goes to the outer loop and it executes again, it iterates again. But after writing its before this whole for keyword, the control gets out from the outer loop and the inner loop both. But when you use before the curly braces, it will get to the control for the outer loop or the I loop. Okay, you can use different block of code and you can jump out anytime you want, but you have to keep in mind is that the when you use the break statement and use the name to break out, the block of code must include that break off statement. If I want to jump out from, let me show you, for I is equals to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus plus. So if you want to jump from here to here, then it will not happen. It will show you an error. Let me show you. To jump out from any block of code, you have to include that break statement. The break statement must be included inside that block of code. If I write this code as the outer loop for the I1, then it will work. You have to keep in mind when you are using the name or the label, you must have to include the break statement from which you want to break out. So I think it's very clear. So bye.